You ever see a grown man in a $1,000 suit try to stride across a field and sink straight up to his ankles in sheep crap? That's how you know it's going to be a good story or a bad day depending on where you're standing. I'll tell you right now, the day I met Zane Hollister was the day my patience for a certain kind of suburban royalty just finally evaporated like dew on a July morning. Picture it. This guy steps out of a shiny black sedan, tries to act like he owns the place, even though he's stepping over the kind of fence you only cross if you want to end up in my incident report. He's got his shoulders back like a high school football coach custom loafers, and this silver business card holder he snaps open with all the drama of a Vegas magician. "I'm Zane," he says, like that's supposed to impress me. "I'm here on behalf of the association." Didn't even bother to shake my hand. I pointed at the big bright yellow sign on my fence. No soliciting, no trespassing. I put that sign up for a reason, not just for decoration, you know what I mean? Our county agent reminded me posted boundaries keep you safe when you gotta remove someone. And here's Zane sliding right through the cattle gate without so much as a call. The what I ask, just to hear him say it. He gives me the full title. The Homeowners Association. Like he's announcing royalty. "They sent me to handle your situation. My flock behind me is all nervous sheep muttering, and honestly, so am I. Did the association buy you boots for this little mission?" Zane looks down at his loafers, now ruined. His smile never touched his eyes. "Let's be direct," he says. "Your farm this wedge by our entrance road was never meant to be agricultural. The association's got plans. Community parking lot, tasteful commercial use, been in the development plan for years." "Your development plan doesn't cross my fence," I say. And that's when he whips out this folder, all glossy renderings, fountains, potted shrubs, a bunch of folks in pastel sweaters backing up SUVs. But funny thing, my farmhouse, not in the picture. Instead, just this rectangle of gray stripes for parking, marching right up to my pond like an invading army. "We're offering you 17% of the minimum appraised value," he tells me real smooth. "Take it or leave it. Market soft for, well, what you've got." I let out a laugh that was more bark than chuckle. 17%, huh? That's not an offer, that's an insult with a decimal. Zane's eyes, cold as a church pew in February. "You've got 90 days, he says. "After that, we escalate. Board wants it done before summer. You'll save time if you move along." This area isn't suited for, and he stares at my sheep, searching for the words livestock. That's when I tell him straight, "You want me to move out so you can pave my home? You're dreaming. I own this. This is my land. You, sir, are trespassing. Leave now." But he stands there with the look of someone who's used to getting his way. "You don't understand how this works," he says. "We have covenants. They supersede nuisance uses. The neighbors are complaining smells, tractor noise, your rooster." "I don't even have a rooster." Zane tries to pivot. Maybe it's a goose, maybe it's something else that yells. Right on cue, a sheep lets out a bleat like a kazoo, and Zane just about jumps. I ask if he's got a card he does, and I snap a photo of it next to his sinking shoes for my records. Gate gets closed, not slammed, just neat and tidy, and as I look up, there's Tova, my neighbor, retired paramedic, coffee mug in hand, phone recording from her porch. "You get all that?" I ask. "From Escalate onward," she says, grinning. "You want the video?" "Oh, you bet I do. I've lived long enough out here on the border of the county, and whatever passes for civilization to know, documentation wins fights, not complaints, and I wanted every minute of this. Next up, call my attorney." Mara's her name, land use specialist, patience of a saint voice like a tired cello. I leave a message because Monday at her office is a nightmare. In the meantime, I check the fences, pour, feed, breathe the good air. My property's old original acreage out here before the suburbs sprouted up like mushrooms after rain. Before the association, I sold eggs by the mailbox, waved at joggers. After only SUVs, letters about compliance and violations over a fence older than most people in this county. Mara finally calls back. I give her the short version. She listens long, pause. They offered you 17%, she says, and I swear I hear her eyebrows hit the ceiling. That's not even a number. HOA can't take your land. County can. State can. Not them. They can bully. They can lie. They can try to annex, but they can't condemn. I rattle off all my documents. My land predates their subdivision. My deed's older than their bylaws, right to Farm County Records agricultural exemption. I'm as legal as you can get, Good Mara says. Then we play offense. She gives me a list stop at planning and zoning request. Any permit applications tied to the HOA's real legal name, never what's on the mailers, file a public records request for all emails between their board and county zoning for the past year. And absolutely do not answer another letter. Don't speak to reps. If they show up, call the sheriff. Trespass is trespass. So I pack my thermos, put sheep in the lower paddock, tell Tova I'll be back before feed, and rattle into town in my truck, feeling like the only honest thing on four wheels. The parking lot picture stays in my mind. Artist erased my house. My pond's now a decorative oval pecan tree replaced by a sign I'd never hang. Changes you imagine are one thing. Changes where you're erased, that's something else. Planning and zoning's receptionist knows me. Farm folks come in every spring, always the same questions. She looks up the HOA's legal name, raises an eyebrow. They've been busy, but nothing about a parking lot. Annexation. They tried to redraw a map, make my fence their boundary, but it didn't go anywhere. County GIS guy grew up on a farm, he knew better. At Mara's office, she flips through my labeled videos, photos, notes. Farming teaches you to keep records. She lays it out. HOA's got no say over my deed. My land's ag zoned. They can't build a commercial lot here without me. If they keep pushing, that's harassment, trespass, tortious interference. Next step, certified letter to the HOA legal basis, requested trespass complaint, filed all communications through her. And if they've been sneaky with county staff, we'll use it. I'm not litigious, but I am stubborn. You have to be if you run a small farm when most folks think food comes from their phone. That night, I watched the HOA's uplighting from my porch, wonder if Zane's inside making promises over maps he can't deliver. Next day, complaint letter in my mailbox, HOA logo, unauthorized signage. They want to fine me for my no trespassing sign. I laugh, snap a photo, drive it to the sheriff. Deputy Hahn picks it up like it might bite. They can't fine you for land they don't control, he says, making a note. This is attempted theft by deception. Maybe just ignorance, but I'll have a word. 2 days later, HOA sends a guy in a branded truck to photo my porch. He claims he's doing a common area inspection. I have him on video before he can blink. Tova's across the way recording too. You've got 60 seconds to leave or I call the sheriff, I tell him. He bolts. Mara's letter goes out, cites statutes, dates, uses words like intentional infliction of emotional distress. She copies the county attorney, the sheriff, the HOA's insurer. The response, denial, confusion, blame the contractor. Zane calls me, ignoring the no contact order, leaves a voicemail about not being neighborly. Board votes to stack fines, threatens escalation. The records request finally comes back. Sunshine law at work. Turns out the HOA President Lark had sent emails to planning with the parking lot render listing my parcel as pending acquisition. They'd written, expect holdout tactics, as if I was the problem. Mara smiles like a shark. They documented their plan. Now we document the consequences. Formal complaints filed, police report, cease and desist notification to the insurer. Meanwhile, I call Ephraim my surveyor. 70 walks like he's made of levels and iron pins. He maps my boundary and finds a skinny public right-of-way, 10 feet wide county land separating me from the HOA's entrance. Means they have no claim to my fence. I make 3 copies, sheriff zoning kitchen table. Then the SUVs show up, slow cruising, snapping photos. One kid yells, "We're gonna have a coffee shop." You should be grateful I wave. Didn't invite them in. Next, the HOA's letters just get wild. Claim I owe amenities, assessments, mailbox violations, pond's an attractive nuisance. My pond's fenced, signed, locked. Mara fires back with single-page denials. No, absolutely not. See attached statutes. Deputy Hahn pops in, tells me he's explained to the board that what they're doing could be considered fraud. It's a chess game. Threats meet law. Trespass meets sheriff's cruiser until Zane shows up one last time, says he's here to inspect stormwater compliance, accuses me of contaminating the creek. I keep my fields covered, compost-tested, runoff clean. He's got nothing. I ask for lab tests, water rights paperwork, permission to be on my land. Nothing. I film him leaving and Tova claps. By now, I'm done playing nice. I post signs, write to farm in effect, all communication through council, start wearing my phone like a wildlife photographer. Mara calls, "You've got to see this." The HOA's been billing the county for mowing the right-of-way using photos with my fence in the background. They knew the line and lied about it. That's leverage. Mara writes to the county auditor and the HOA's insurer, explaining the misrepresentation the 17% offered the pressure campaign. The truth starts working fast. Next calls from Dell, the insurer's investigator. She wants a site visit, promises to wear boots. I show her the fence right of way, all the signs, the renderings, every record. She asks if I have a rooster. I tell her just the sheep and they sing at dawn. Next morning, flyers stapled to the poles, community meeting, parking plan, my pond on the flyer. Mara texts, "You want to make a public comment?" I do, but I want more. I start my own event. Open gate afternoon. I invite everyone with a house older than the HOA. 50 people show up, tour my place, meet the sheep, ask questions about law farming boundaries. The HOA board arrives, clipboards at the ready. "This is private land," I say. "You're welcome to learn not to manage." At the community meeting, I wait my turn. Compliance book in hand, boundary map ready. I say, "The parcel you label pending acquisition. That's my home. You offered me 17%. I'm not for sale at 1770 or 107. I have deeds older than your bylaws, right to farm proper records, and no legal document giving your association any power over me." The room's quiet then. Someone laughs at my line about lattes and law. Dell's by the door nods. "We'll be in touch," she says. Days later, Tova brings pie. Filed a petition with the county over the right-of-way mowing. She grins legally petty. Small wins start stacking up. The HOA's insurer launches a review. County Planning Board freezes their entrance road plan. A reporter calls, writes a story about suburban governance versus legacy agriculture. My phone buzzes with support. I turn my fence into a living syllabus plant, a hedge post, a signed conservation plan. "Please do not trespass." County commissioner stops by, tells me to keep receipts and humor. HOA postpones their vote tax on a fee for legal contingencies. Ephraim drops by, brings an old drainage easement giving the county the right to maintain under the HOA's entrance. County crews show up, dig the ditch. Never touch my fence, just do their job. Feels like law humming in diesel. Next morning, my power's out, meter tampered. Deputy Hahn logs it, calls it felony tampering. HOA's solutions director is suddenly on leave. Insurance suspends coverage, board members resign, they ask for mediation. I tell Mara what I want. Apology retraction policy change, donation to the county extension legal fees, and a sign at the entrance recognizing protected agricultural use. We settle with all of it. The apologies almost art regret. Respect no jurisdiction, no 17%. The new sign, "You are entering a community adjacent to working farms. Expect tractors. Expect animals. Expect life. Be neighborly." The county audits the HOA's mowing reimbursements, gets repayment. New board members start reading the fine print. Gus, my neighbor, finds their fence 6 inches on his land, 1 letter. The fence moves and he brings peaches as a thank you. Life settles down. The extension uses the donation for field classes. Kids learn about water testing and compost. My sheep behave at the fair, win a ribbon. And out here, boundaries become rituals. Hedge grows thick, bees move in the fence, holds firm. The jar with the cut zip tie stays on my mantle, not for spite, but as a reminder. I speak at the HOA's annual meeting, Boring Wins, I say, and folks actually laugh. Lark, now treasurer, tells me I made her better at her job. I say the same. Spring comes, and if you ever stand at my gate, I'll show you every line hedge culvert map, the jar, and say stubbornness can grow into stewardship. If anyone in polished shoes shows up trying to buy my pond for a parking lot, they'll meet the same person as before, only steadier, with law maps, neighbors' bees, and a sign that always gets a fresh coat. Here's the lesson: the fence is not where your wishes end, it's where my rights begin. So let me ask you, what do you think is justice about the law, about lines, about neighbors? Tell me in the comments, and if you've ever stood your ground against someone who wanted to redraw your world, I want to hear that too. Thanks for sticking with me. See you out by the gate.